Hello guys and welcome to some behind the scenes on the Familiar Guides. Now, as you can see here, this is Magus, guys. This is the thing I've been upgrading, and you would know that, I'm starting to ask people to get your ratings done. And if you haven't put your response in on the Google form, please do so, because by doing so, you'll end up changing the rating for the Familiar. So at the moment I've got to scroll up, try to collapse all these as much as possible, and I'll show you how it works. Now each of these have given different ratings, right? Well, watch what happens when I go from A to C+. I'll get rid of the A, and then there you go. The ratings change depending on which layer I put visible. And it can be any rating, just depends on your responses. And your responses help to make this possible. And you can go as low as F to a high as A. Like your original school ratings or your school grades. This is like your grades, basically. I'm not going to steal Mark's idea of just going 1 to 10, because 1 to 10 is just inaccurate. You think a number would define a Familiar, but it doesn't. It technically doesn't. Each one has a difference in everything. And since Magus doesn't have the deploy skill, I just put the visibility out. But what if they had a skill? Then I'll just turn the visibility back on, and there you go. The Familiar army talent just appears here. Since Magus does not, I just leave it off, and it just becomes a blank area. And also, what I did in the background is I gave it an effect, and I decided that, since it's got a background in the layer, I would just give it a bit of a blur. Give it a bit of a blur in the background just to make it stand out a bit more. And also I've done the whole thing entirely from scratch. Now, as I'm going to close this in a minute, I'm just going to go and change to the Familiar's land layout guide that I got for Regamers. And this new change that I'm doing is actually good, and you'll see the blur in the background in a minute. And I just did the blur because when I was reading Avatrex's YouTube, I saw him do something on monster buses, and I thought that seems like a valid point. Blur the background, everything else pops out. And what I did is just blurred it a bit just to make it stand out. And as I get this to load, you'll see the Regamers version straight out, and how I actually made this work. And this is the last Regamers release, guys, because I've decided I've done enough. It's gone out pretty well, and time to do something else. So I'll close that and I'll show you. Now, we'll zoom in a bit, and you'll see the difference here. I've made the backing of the table blend into the background, and the background more blurred. And the reason being is that I wanted to pop a bit more. And this is why Avatrex said if you blur the background, everything just pops out at you. Well, this is true, because it actually pops this out a bit more. All the cells pop out more, the numbers pop out a bit more, and of course the legend pops out along with everything else. So basically, this is a good idea, and I thank Avatrex for giving me this idea, because not only he's a good bloke, but to see him just do something for the community is great. Like, I follow him, I get all his responses and everything else. Anyway, the land setup guide I've done to this, also I've done to the main guide for Reddit. Now, Reddit version is different do you know the difference between the Reddit and the new one? Well, because the Reddit version is a much bigger format. And I can actually make it as big as I wish, and it will work. As opposed to this, it'll just shrink. Like, seriously. If you think, if I'd put the Reddit one on Reddit, on WeGamers, the text will squished, everything else gets squished, and everything else. Because it doesn't want to fit. So, what I did here is, you can obviously see the fade that behind in the background where Prima Donna is. So where Prima Donna is, it's just blurred now, so that's given a bit of a blur. The backing of the table's given a blur as well, and you can obviously tell that everything is starting to pop out now. So I'm going to eventually go around and do the rest in the same manner, but I'm not just going right to overboard until I get some feedback, you know. And every feedback I get, I just consider it, I just act upon it, and I'll just say, this might work. But it's not just to me to say, this is the rating it gets, you know. I don't want to think, yeah, I want to give this a B plus or a C or a C plus. It just depends on what people think, you know. The stats are right there, the mins and the max, as well as the mins and max there, mins and max there, merging, and everything else. So, if you really want to contribute, please give me a heads up. So, you can obviously see me on my Reddit and everything else. And that pretty much sums this up. So, I hope you enjoy some behind the scenes stuff, and feel free to like or dislike or put a comment in. So, if you really want to help me, be your guest. So, I'll see you around. So, take care.